Hi, Susan. How are you today?
Hey, how are you? I'm doing good.
Good, good. It's been a few weeks since I've last saw you. I know you were in here about 3 weeks ago, um, but you weren't feeling good the last week, so you had to cancel. How's that going?
So I did. So I guess it's been like a week and a half now. I got tested at my internship for COVID because it was starting to run rampant. We had two positive cases in the facility. So I had to test myself, which is routine there. I just haven't done it in a while. And 2 days later, when I was at my regular job, I got the test results that I was positive for COVID. So it was kind of hard because I kind of had to get ushered out of my job. And luckily, I didn't have a lot of symptoms, more just run down, which was weird because I just thought it was because of everything else I was doing. I know we talked last time about everything I was trying to do, and I just thought it was residual from that. Um, but yeah, just being run down. So I've been off for a little over a week now. Positive is I just tested negative the other day. So it was before we had scheduled this meeting. So I didn't want to come in person because I actually have to take another test tomorrow for my internship. So I wanted to make sure we were both okay. So this is what we decided.
Yeah, yeah, it's our safest bet. You couldn't come into the office, so you instead, we have to do this virtual because of COVID, and it's 2020, so new things are happening every day, unfortunately. So I know the last time we talked a little bit about your just your relationship with your mom and trying to rebuild this. How's that going? Have you been talking to her more lately?
So I have, which is interesting. 2 days before I actually got tested for COVID, I had gone down to visit her and to see how she was doing. And we had a good talk. I mean, it's been a struggle. I know we've talked about that for a while now. It's been a struggle talking to her. We haven't had a great relationship um, for a lot of reasons. I've been trying to make it a little bit better. So I've been trying to do my part and going down there and visiting her. Um, but after I got COVID and called her, she freaked out a little bit, which is normal. I get it. I don't
You
want her sick.
saw her 2 days prior, so of course
Correct.
anybody would be a little, you know, upset.
Correct. She's in her 70s. As far as I know, she's healthy, but still, like I would have felt terrible if I didn't call her and tell her. So I let her know. She wasn't mad at me. I mean, but she was. You could tell how she was. It was different. It almost flashed back me to kind of when I was younger, how she would get. So I've talked to her since via text, but I don't know. I still feel like it's strained because I still feel like I have to put more effort in than she does lately, and I guess that's frustrating in a way.
Do you think any of it has to do with the fact that she may be still a little upset that you saw her 2 days prior to finding out that you tested positive? Do you think that has something to do with it?
Yes, but if it wasn't that, I feel like it would have been something else. And maybe that's just me being negative. Maybe I'm just going back to how I've perceived our relationship. Um, because I could have just not called her and she could have
Right.
just got sick. I told her to get tested. Everybody in my internship that I was near and my job had to get tested. And the reality is all of them were negative. So she probably was too. It wasn't like we were, that close in contact, but I wouldn't have felt okay if I didn't tell her. So I don't know. I guess she could have been upset about that. Um, I don't know. I just felt like it was strained. I don't know if it's from that or not. And I could bring it up to her, but I don't know if I'll get an actual answer from her.
Well, those things are hard, but luckily she's okay. I know you said there's always going to be an excuse kind of thing that you said for her. When did this start? Was this always kind of a thing, or is this a more recent kind of thing that she's taking part in?
No, this is kind of been my whole life. I think it's better now that I'm older. It was a lot worse actually when I was younger. So how she is now is not how she was. I can just bits and pieces come to the surface every once in a while. Um, so she's always had it, just not, it used to be a lot worse than that. So I guess maybe when she acts like that, intentionally or not intentionally, because I don't know, it just makes me remember how she was like that, because usually those kind of conversations would lead into massive arguments and like not a good thing. So I guess I feel like that's about to happen. And I have no really proof of that because it hasn't happened in years. I guess that's just my own stuff from when I was a child.
Okay, well, family's going to have their differences, and we can't always get along, but you do love her, right? So there's that, and it's like, you don't, you just, it's family. We all have family issues, but it is hard to deal with that stuff. And we talked about a couple weeks ago. I know you said something about, it's been a while since we've talked like regularly or had, this talking relationship because you guys were so distant for so long. And you mentioned that you have several differences and you're two totally different people. And it was tough. I know you said it was tough, like having her around when you were younger and stuff like that. So, um, these things happen, but hopefully it works out with you guys and you're able to reform that relationship that you may have had when you were younger with her. So hopefully that happens.
I didn't really have the greatest relationship with her when we were younger. I think that's part of the problem. She was very verbally and emotionally abusive. So I think that's part of the problem. And I didn't talk to her for a very long time because I felt she had control of me and our relationship, and I needed to take a step back and kind of put a boundary there, and set boundaries and set limits, because I felt like I was being abused, by everything that I was doing with her, and I needed to take a step back, not talk to her for a while, and reestablish, how the relationship was going to work, since I was really the only one putting the effort in.
Well, it's unfortunate. It really is. But I really hope, like I said before, I hope that you guys are able to reform that relation, or form a relationship, and something that you never had. So it would be nice and it would be new. Is this, I know this, we got into like a whole conversation about this kind of just checking in from last week, but is this something that you want to continue talking about? Because it kind of seems like it's something that might be bothering you a little bit.
So it is. So something that's been an issue, it's been an issue for a while, is holidays. And as you know, they're coming up. Um, so it's only my mom and my sister. My dad had passed away um, when I was 24. So it's been a while. So it's just us three. My sister lives up close to me, but doesn't have transportation. My mom will not drive up to me. She will not allow me to go down there and pick her up and bring her back up here. Um, she doesn't cook. So holidays have always been an issue since I moved out, um, because I feel like I have to accommodate her. And I feel selfish in that way. And I don't know how to handle it. Years past, I've gone down there and we would go to Chinese restaurants, or we would go the day before and hang out with her. And it wasn't enough. She wanted the day of. So like I had said before, I had to put boundaries up, which I have. But now this year with the internship and my job, I have very limited time to figure out how to do that. And I feel extremely stressed that I need to figure out how to see her, because the only way I can see her is if I physically don't go down there. So do I go down there? Do I sacrifice what I've been doing for the holidays and stay up here? Um, it's a struggle right now. And I talked to my sister earlier. She's got her own thing going on. So I feel like we're all separate in what we're doing, because I'm the only one who can actually facilitate what we do. So it's a lot of stress on me, and just trying to figure out how to deal with it.
Yeah, so the holidays are coming up, and I mean Thanksgiving's in a couple weeks. So were you planning on making plans to go see your mom for Thanksgiving?
So I haven't thought about it, to be honest with you, because with COVID and my internship and school, I haven't really had time to breathe until now. And that's why I just thought I was literally just thinking about it today. Typically, I do Thanksgiving with my boyfriend's family, because in years past, the only other option is to go down there and go out to eat with my mom. We don't even know if restaurants are going to be open at that point, with everything going on. So what do we do? Do I cook and bring food down there? She won't cook. So I don't know what my options are. Like, I haven't even talked to her yet about this because I don't feel like she can compromise. So I feel like I would have to do that. Um, so I don't know. I didn't make plans. I certainly didn't make plans for Christmas. I know it's 2 weeks away, and yeah, it's stressing me out a little bit.
Yeah, so let's back up a little bit because you seem like you do have a lot going on right now, Susan. And, I know a couple weeks ago we mentioned your last session, like just your internship and just the anxiety with everything going on and just how the world is. And then, you have all this going on and getting hours for work. And yeah, you were out because you had COVID, unfortunately. So you had a little bit, I'm sure, time to do your homework and get some assignments done. But you still got sick. So you were dealing with, an illness on top of that. And then, yeah, the holidays are coming up. So now you're going to stress about who's going to see who and when can we do this. And so I have a lot of praise for you for everything that you're going through right now. And, you're able to sit here right now and kind of talk through it. Um, but yeah, you have a lot going on and it's not just one thing, it's many. So, the stress with your mom, of course, adds to it all. But you got to kind of separate everything and kind of work on it one at a time. So your anxiety kind of continued into this week's session, it seems.
It did. So I will be honest. Last week after I got sick, I did nothing. Not like nothing. I was
But
in bed.
that's okay, because
No,
remember
it is.
we worked on the goals. So
Correct.
you set these
And there
goals.
was self-care. There was definitely self-care. I didn't have energy to do anything. I didn't have energy to do laundry. So in a way, it was good. Um, I definitely got to gather my energy back, get better, think about how going into my job and my internship, I even thought about leaving my job and getting something more part-time. It's been going through my head, trying to leave my job and actually do something different so I don't have to work and go to my internship 7 days the next 2 semesters. Because I have the time to think about that. Not necessarily stressing, just thinking about it. So I actually feel okay with all of that. I think my biggest stress right now, to be honest with you, is just my mom and figuring out the holidays. I feel like I have a better handle just by having off, even if I was sick, of figuring out how to manage everything else, the best I can, not perfectly. Um, but now it's like I'm scared to go back, get into a rhythm, and feel that added pressure from my family.
So you say
I
you're
think that's the biggest stress.
well, you say you're scared.
I'm scared. I'm scared because I guess I feel like if I don't try to make an effort with my mom, it's my fault. And I know that sounds ridiculous. I do. Um,
But when
but I
you
feel like I
say
have to be the one.
right, but when you say what you told me before about like how she was and how she treated you when you were younger and really not being there and that attachment wasn't there. So for you to feel that way is completely normal. You have reasons to feel that way and think that your mom's going to do that because it's unfortunate, but she's done it before.
Yes.
So, these are things that you have to think of. And then of course you do, because you're overwhelmed with the amount of thoughts you have right now. But this is something that I think we should work on today is, your feelings and coping with them and coping with this anxiety. So I do have a worksheet, and I did email you the link. I sent it to your email prior to the session so that you would have it the same time as me.
I have it in my email. I'm pulling it up right now.
Okay. So this is something that we could just work on together. It's just a little worksheet. It's just coping styles formulation. It's just another form of cognitive behavioral therapy that we like to use. So did you have it up on your phone?
Yeah.
Okay. So basically, just I'm going to explain this worksheet real quick. It's just the coping styles formulation. It's a CBT case conceptualization worksheet. It's designed to help therapists and clients come to a shared understanding of the presenting problem and develop a more adaptive coping strength and strategies. So the worksheet includes 6 steps. So it's pretty simple. So how do I cope with the problem? So today you kind of talked about your mom and the holidays and everything that's going on, and you were sick and everything. So tell me what you know how are you going to cope with the problem? So what made you at risk in the first place?
What made me at risk for feeling like this?
Yeah.
Um, I guess just my past experience. I guess it is always in the back of my mind every holiday. And typically it's sooner than this, but I guess with everything going on, it wasn't. Um, and I guess maybe it's more overwhelming this year because I've been trying to establish a better relationship with her. And now I feel like if I don't do the right thing, whatever that is, I will mess something up. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I mean, it's all going to make sense, Susan. This is all you. So we're just working on this together. I am on the journey with you. So I know we discussed you were sick. That's a big one that happened, just this past week. So, it says what events or triggers occurred just before the problem developed.
Getting sick because you're right, getting sick because I saw her 2 days prior. So me just talking to her about that, I guess brought it up because just how she reacted to it made me question how she was going to react to how the holidays are coming around too, because it'd probably be the same response. Um, just thinking and talking to my sister would be another trigger because we were talking about the holidays just today, and I never really gave it that much thought and didn't realize it was 2 weeks away. The biggest trigger, though, I don't know how many you want me to write down, would be that I got sick and did expose her.
Okay. Well, those are definitely a couple things that we talked about, both of those. And obviously those are underlying things that we're going to get anxiety about because we worry. We're humans. That's what we do. So what is the overall problem?
Um, I don't know. I guess not knowing how to, not know how, I guess in a nutshell, not knowing how to accommodate everybody for the holidays, including myself. Because if I'm accommodating her or my sister, then where does that leave me? Or do I accommodate myself?
Well, what would be, let's kind of escape away from this question real quick. What would be accommodating for you?
To see her on my day off, that's not the actual holiday, and then actually not stress out on the physical holiday to have to be in 5 places at once.
Now, is that something like, do you usually go everywhere so that you can see everyone because everyone can't be together?
Yes. In years past, I sometimes would see just my sister or just my mom. Like I said, my sister hasn't been she hasn't had the easiest life. She doesn't have transportation right now, so she's kind of at my whim, which is fine. We see each other. Our relationship is completely fine. Um, but no, being able to get my sister and go down there, now it's even harder because my sister has a boyfriend, so she feels more drawn that way, which I totally get. But her days and my days off don't mesh, so neither one of us would be able to go down at the same time to see my mom. So yeah, I mean, I have in the past gone on a day that I've been off, and it's been fine. Now only having one day off a week is a little harder. It's still manageable. I guess I'm just worried that it's not enough for my mom. I guess that's the thing.
Yeah, so I mean, you do have a lot to think about, Susan. Like you have a lot going on right now, and it's, your anxiety is there because you have a lot going on, and the things that you have going on will be done and they will be completed. Um, you're a very driven person. You have a job, you go to school, you have an internship. You're very busy. And clearly you care about the ones you love because you're trying to accommodate all of them while trying to accommodate yourself. And like, I know you have a boyfriend somewhere in there too. So, it's just trying to make everyone happy, and it's not possible. So don't ponder on that too much, because that's what's going to push you over the edge, and you don't want that.
Yeah.
So, you know, we just talked about all of this. So, going back to the worksheet, what is the problem?
Trying to accommodate everybody and not myself.
Yeah, is you're kind of forgetting to, I mean, we all forget. I do it too. We forget, and then we worry about everyone else, and then we're burned out. It happens. So, it's just kind of trying to take a step back, realizing that, okay, I'm one person. I can only do so much. So you got to start thinking about yourself and your well-being. I mean, you're in a session right now. You're trying to, get help for what you're going through, and that's what I'm here for. So, um, so yes, you are definitely struggling with trying to have the accommodating everyone, but not accommodating yourself. So that's something that we're gonna work towards right now. The next question on the worksheet is, how do I cope with the problem? So what things make you feel better, at least temporarily?
That I don't have to make a decision right away.
I'm sorry,
um,
you said that you don't have to make a decision right away?
yes. Um, it helps talking about it.
Yeah.
Knowing that, yeah, I guess it's that. I mean, talking it out does make me feel better. It's not the solution, but if I don't talk it out, it's just going to eat at me until who knows what happens. I guess talking to my mom, but that doesn't necessarily make me feel better. um, I don't know. That's a hard one. I try to self-care and take care of myself. I don't know if I'd say that's something. I don't know if that's how I cope with it, though. I don't know.
Well, only you know. So you might not know right now, but
Okay.
It's so this is something that, I mean, you're going to keep this worksheet. I'm going to have you work on the last two questions for the next session that we have scheduled. The next question is, how effective are these coping strategies? So you can do pros and cons for that. That's totally up to you. And then what else could I do or try to cope? So these are, I mean, you could do goals to cope. You can do, because I know we've worked on goals prior, so you're familiar with that. So this is going to be just a little homework for you to do. If you don't do it, no big deal. Take some time for yourself. I know right now things are things are hard. The world is a hot mess right now, but we'll all get through it together. And I I really hope that, I mean, you start to feel a little better. I know you tested negative, but you're probably still like in and out of a fog, right?
Yeah. I'm just trying to play catch up now. I think that's my anxiety is pretty low, but just trying to play catch up right now is maybe a little overwhelming.
Okay, well, this is definitely something that we can continue discussing next week because we're going to go over the worksheet again. And we're going to have to end this session now because the time is up. But yes, so we'll continue next week. We already have this session scheduled, so you're all set. I really appreciate you sharing everything that you shared with me today. It is important that we love our loved ones, and we try and accommodate them the best we can while trying to accommodate ourselves when really we're not. So this is just something that we can work towards. Would this be something that you would want to continue working towards?
Yes, especially since the holidays are still going to be that much closer next week.
Yes, yes, for sure. So I will see you next week. Feel better and try not to think so hard about everything that's going on. Take a relaxer.
Okay.
All
Sounds
right.
good. Thank you very much.
You're very welcome. Have a good night.
You too.